In this video, we're going to take a look at the Garmin Footpod. The Footpod's used for training indoors when you can't track satellites. It's going to be able to measure your stride. Let's take a look at the device. Here's the Garmin Footpod. It's very small. It's just a little bigger than a quarter. It comes with this shoelace adapter. It pops off just using this tab here. This will go underneath your shoelaces, and then the Footpod's going to pop in. On the back of the Footpod here, we have the battery cover. To get the battery open, you just get your nail on these grooves and then open it. And we'll look at that a little later. Let's put this on a shoe. To put the Footpod on your shoe, what we're going to do is we're going to slide this adapter underneath the laces like so. So it's just going to sit right there. Then we're going to take our Footpod. There's a notch right here which is going to line up with the little notch right there. Put this back end in first, and then it's going to clip around your shoelace. There, our Footpod is installed, and now we're ready to calibrate it. Since we have the Footpod on our shoe now, let's connect it with the Forerunner. We have a Forerunner 410 for this example, but the process will be very similar with other Forerunners, just a different interface. On the 410, we're going to go into our main menu. So with the bezel unlocked, put your finger on menu, select settings. In settings, select Ant Plus. And then accessories in Ant Plus. Now Footpod. So we'll enable it. And it should only take a second or two for it to pick up. If it doesn't pick up right away, just start moving your feet with the Footpod on it and it should pick up. And make sure that you're within range. Range is approximately 9 feet. Let's check status to see if it's connecting. So right now it is searching. So I'm going to move my foot around just so it'll pick up the Footpod. And it should just take a second or two. Once connected to the Garmin Footpod, we're going to need to calibrate it. So let's go to Calibrate in the same menu. We'll select it, and we have a couple options for calibrating. We have distance and GPS. So if we select distance, it's going to use GPS, and we're going to need to run about 800 meters or a half mile, and the unit's going to measure our stride over that 800 meters or half mile. We could also calibrate based on GPS. When we go into GPS, what we need to do is go outside and run for a while, and it's going to use the distance calculated by GPS to calibrate our Footpod. You can also change the speed source for your watch. You could either have it be GPS if you're running outdoors, or by hitting enter here we could change it to Footpod, which is going to use our stride for measuring speed when we're indoors. After about a year of use, you're going to want to replace the battery on the Garmin Footpod. To do so, just go over to the back side of it, and you'll see there's this arrow and 2 dots. Right now it's in the closed position. We just need to rotate that dot to the left so it lines up with that dot. Easiest way is get your nail on these ridges and kind of rotate the cover here. First time is a little harder. So I got the battery cover off here, and the battery's on the inside. The battery on the inside here, it's in there good. I use this screwdriver here with a slot head on it to pop the battery out. Just be careful you don't pierce the battery. Just kind of get it in there just to wedge it out. There we go. So we got a CR 2032 battery, and you could get these from any place that sells watch batteries. Plus side always goes up, so you'll see right here it says plus. Put those two together. Now put the battery cover back on. So line up the 2 dots. Use your nail to rotate it until those two dots line up. That was an introduction to the Garmin Footpod.